This is Evening News for Wednesday, January 22, 2014. I'm Samuel Supnandan. Thanks for joining us. Making the headlines tonight. Copa Airlines to ply Guyana route. Carol Ann Lynch faces another murder charge. E-governance project on track and within budget. Delayed AML legislation threatens financial sector. And 2 men arrested after found with grenades and rifle. And now for the news in detail. Copa Airlines today announced its intention to ply the Guyana route as it also underscored the enormous opportunities that will be made available for Guyana to benefit from tourism, trade and commerce from other countries in the South American continent. Speaking at the launching ceremony held at the International Convention Center, Vice President for Copa Airlines, Gulmera Gomez Wilches, said that the airline will commence operations on July 11 this year with 2 weekly flights to Panama City, Panama. He said that the airline was happy to enter the Guyanese market after doing its thorough analysis and believes that there are tremendous benefits to be derived from the new partnership. He said that Copa Airlines continues to make sound business decisions which are resulting in improvements and expansion.
In the world, Copa Airlines is recognized for its leadership in international connectivity, punctuality, quality of service, and for having one of the youngest and most modern fleets in the industry. Today, Copa Airlines is pleased to announce its new route from the Cooperative Republic of Guyana to Panama City in Panama. With this major step, the citizens of Guyana will be connected through our Hub of Americas with 68 destinations in 30 countries in the Americas.
Additionally, Wilches also underscored how Guyana will benefit from its entrance into the aviation and airlines industry over time.
It's the beginning of new opportunities for tourism, commerce, and social exchange between the beautiful country and the rest of the region. Guyana is the dream come true for us, and a great achievement to the way to consolidate as a strong and leading airline in the regional market. Also, with this decision, we expect to contribute significantly to the development of the local Guyanese tourism industry and to provide Guyanese with the safe travel possibilities and exciting destinations offer.
Meanwhile, Tourism Minister Irfan Ali said that Copa's arrival is both timely and appropriate, since the local tourism sector welcomes more visitors and the other business opportunities that will flow as spill-offs from the new arrangement. He lauded the reputation of the company and the quality of service that it will offer, stating too that travel time to several South American and Latin American destinations would be axed by half.
This allows us an exceptional opportunity not only to attract a new market, but also to build the infrastructure through which Guyana can become a secondary hub to Panama, linking up to Africa and South America. This indeed is the macro plan through which we are working, and it requires a new thinking in the tourism business. I'm very delighted that tourism is leading off this year in terms of our plans for our country. Maybe we can say this is one of the first major announcements in 2014. Because we in the tourism sector believe that the tourism industry is going to be the leading industry in Guyana.
Meanwhile, Foreign Affairs Minister Carolyn Rodrigues Burkett, who played an integral role in the negotiations between the two parties, explained that several steps and incentives were looked at to attract the international carrier.
Several steps have been taken as well to encourage Copa here. One has to do with visa waiver arrangements. Left to me alone, I would take off visa for everyone because I just think that it is a hindrance sometimes. But the security experts would tell me maybe a little bit different. But I think that as a small country like Guyana with just 16 missions abroad, we don't have the resources to be issuing visas if we are going to be encouraging people from countries where we don't have missions to visit Guyana. And so we have waived the visa requirements for Panama. You can visit up to 90 days without visa. Of course, Panama had already taken that off. And we've done the same for Costa Rica and Peru because Copa said they see that there can be some connections there. We'd already started a process in the Foreign Ministry of having reciprocal visa arrangements with all of the South American countries and Latin American countries, and we have been successful in many of those endeavors, and we will continue to do that.
Ghana will now become the 68th destination for the airline and the 30th country that it flies to. There will also be 40 minutes connections flights from Guyana through Panama to several other destinations, including Panama and the United States. Former beauty queen Carol Ann Lynch, accused of killing her husband, made an appearance before Chief Magistrate Priya Sunaran Behari today, charged with the offence of murder. It has been alleged that on May 7, 2007, at 106 Iring Place, Bel-Air Park, Georgetown, she murdered former Swiss House Cambio Managing Director Farouk Razak, her husband. Lynch was represented by attorneys at law Lachmi Rahamat and Peter Yu. Defense lawyer Rahamat told the court that in 2007, Lynch was charged for the said offence, and the matter was later discharged by Magistrate Gordon Gilhouse on the grounds of insufficient evidence. She told the court that again the outcome would be the same, stating that there is no new evidence. The defense counsel requested that the matter remain before the Chief Magistrate to expedite the trial. The accused was remanded to prison, and the matter was postponed to February 5 to fix a date for commencement of preliminary inquiry. Banks DI8 said the 2008 economic crisis and Ghana's failure to implement the Anti-Money Laundering and Countering the Financing of Terrorism Bill is negatively impacting the financial sector. Svetlana Marshall reports.
Banks DIH Chairman Clifford Rees said the economic meltdown continues to negatively impact the banking sector, even as regulators attempt to cushion the impacts through the implementation of various systems to prevent a reoccurrence. But even as regulators put systems in place on the international arena, Guyana is faced with a situation where legislators are yet to meet a consensus on the Anti-Money Laundering and Countering the Financing of Terrorism Bill.
The Anti-Money Laundering and Countering Financial Terrorism legislation. This enactment is certainly not restricted to the confines of the banking system in Ghana, but has far-reaching implications and consequences for everyone globally regarding non-compliance.
The Anti-Money Laundering and Countering the Financing of Terrorism Bill will reshape the manner in which the banking and financial sector conducts business. Ghana's failure to pass the legislation, coupled with the domino effect of the economic meltdown, has influenced the upward movement of the exchange rates.
What this has clearly demonstrated to the management of the bank is if we all have to accelerate the process started during the last reporting period to find and implement new operation models to sustain growth, which is an imperative and not an option. The traditional revenue generation models are no longer sacred cows. This new paradigm will require new and innovative methods.
Rees opined that the new economic challenges may push governments to adopt more protectionist approaches to safeguard their financial and banking sectors. However, it will affect the global banking industry ability to exercise that required flexibility to enter and exist in existing markets. Nevertheless, Citizens Bank Guyana Inc. has recorded a profit after tax of $1 billion in 2013 compared to $921.7 million in 2012. This represents an increase of $82.2 million or 8.9%.
The Civil Defense Commission, CDC, with support from the United Nations Development Programme, UNDP, recently conducted Community-Based Disaster Risk Management, CDBRM, training with members of the Region 9 branch of its Volunteers Corps. The training, which was held on between January 13 to 15 in Lethem, was facilitated by Captain Sean F. Welcome from the CDC Operations and Training Department. In a release, the organization said the workshop was geared towards building capacity at the community level by equipping the 16 participants with the knowledge to undertake CBDRM. Participants were taught how to conduct community profiling, disaster risk assessment, disaster risk reduction (DRR) planning, comprehensive disaster risk management (CDM), CBDRM project implementation, and project monitoring and evaluation, among other skills. During the period January 16 to 17, volunteers were also trained to conduct damage assessment and needs analysis. Dana during the 3 stages of a disaster before, during, and after. Emphasis was also placed particularly on the DANA process and mechanism, data gathering, and teamwork. CDC Operations and Training Officer Major Kester R. Craig and Captain Welcome were the facilitators of this workshop. Join us after these messages for more of the evening news. Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the evening news. 2 men were arrested by police in South Rhineville today after they were found with a quantity of explosives and rifles in their possession. According to reports, ranks on an anti-crime patrol observed the 2 men walking along Aubrey Backer Road, South Rhineville, at around 11 hours 45. One of the men threw away a bag he had in his possession while he was being approached by police. The bag was later retrieved and was found containing a M16 rifle, along with 2 magazines and 60 rounds of ammunition, a fragmentation grenade, and a concussion grenade. The 2 men are in police custody and are said to be assisting with investigations. Bishar Mohammed reports that a businessman is optimistic that the police will apprehend the perpetrators for several robberies committed on his business place over a short period of time. Bishar Mohammed met with the aggrieved owner of the store and filed this report.
Andrew Badan, the proprietor of Universal Sports Store at 2nd Street, Albertown, Georgetown, is frustrated and is calling on the Guyana Police Force to conduct a proper investigation into the recent robbery committed on his business place, which occurred in the wee hours of Saturday morning. Badan explained that this was not the first robbery, and as such, he is literally frustrated.
7 years now in this business as Universal Sports. I started in Albertown, 5th Street, and after about 3 years, I was forced to close down because of these breakages, these robberies. We even had physical robberies. They come in with guns.
However, he had this to say about the recent robbery, which occurred over the weekend, with the perpetrators starting off with more than $300,000 in goods through a window.
This happened in the early morning of Saturday because I normally stay here, and I left Friday afternoon, so it was physically shown that I was loading up trucks because I went in the interior with my brother. And they broke through the window, but they couldn't get in. They had to make a lot of noise. They moved metal racks, hit the metal windows, and no one came out and tried to find out what's going on. And they took over about $300,000 worth of goods that they could have pulled out through the window with hangers and everything. And I don't understand. I had to take more than one person and at least half an hour.
He said that after 4 days he has not gotten any satisfaction from the investigators and feels that they are dragging their feet on the issue.
I've been on the police cases over and over. I'm not comfortable and I'm not happy the way they've been helping me at all. Sometimes I feel that I'm the criminal in these cases. I have to beg for police support. Up to yesterday in this recent breakage we had Saturday night, or I think Saturday morning actually, I went over to talk to the detective that was handling this case, and she don't even want to talk to me. It's very unfortunate that I have to go through this, about 7 or 8 incidents in 7 years. That's unacceptable. And I even have some leads or information I can help these police officers.
He disclosed that more than $5 million in goods have been stolen from his East and Albert Street's businesses by bandits. 2 men in the area have been arrested after a quantity of goods were found in their possession, but were subsequently released. Bishar Mohammed at Evening News.
In light of the recent crash at Olive Creek that claimed the lives of 2 persons, the Ghana Civil Aviation Authority will be heightening surveillance at the Ogle International Airport. Bishar Mohammed has the details.
With over 50,000 people traveling out of Ogle International Airport on an annual basis and over 130 flights plying the facility on a daily basis, Transport Minister Robeson Ben explained that they will have to heighten surveillance at the port of entry.
We have been discussing additional measures, additional oversight in respect of heightening the level of surveillance with respect to aircraft operations. Domestic flights, particularly from the Ogle Aerodrome, are of a very high number. Ogle Aerodrome, which is now a regional airport, has amongst the highest numbers, the highest level of aircraft activity. One of the issues arising out of some recent incidents is the question of whether, in fact, the issues in relation to the loading of planes, their practices, whether they're following the standards as prescribed always. Sometimes the activity with respect to shuttle operations are not in the coast itself, but out in the interior. We will be requiring ad hoc inspections in the operational areas and also at Ogle itself with respect to some of these issues.
He also stated that with the increase of traffic, the entire system has become a concern for his ministry and that of the Guyana Civil Aviation Authority.
The entire system has been responding to this increase in the level of activity and responding to the amount of effort which is needed to manage the overall system. Overall, for the entire system, we are doing reassessments. We will do reviews, of course, as one of the mechanisms of the investigation to improve the activity we do in this area.
Nevertheless, the minister assured the flying public that they will do everything in their powers to have safe flights into various interior locations.
I'd like to reassure again the general public, the traveling public, those who undertake flights into the interior, that all effort will be made towards ensuring that we have safe aircraft operations.
On Saturday last, a Cessna Caravan crashed just after takeoff from Olive Creek and claimed the lives of its pilot Blake Slater, 25, and 28 years old cargo loader Dwayne Jacobs. The aircraft was at the time on a shuttle operation from Olive Creek to Ibamadai. Bisham Mohammed, The Evening News.
In light of the damning allegations of torture and other abuses, Home Affairs Minister Clement Rohi on Saturday held what was described as an open and sincere discussion with senior officers of the Ghana Police Force. The meeting with these officers, including Commissioner of Police Leroy Bramil and all divisional commanders, was aimed at reviewing the 71 recommendations for the improved working of the Ghana Police Force, which were compiled by the Disciplined Forces Commission of Inquiry in 2004. The highly interactive session was held at the Police Officers Training Centre, Ivleri, and also participating were the Director of Public Prosecutions, Shalimar Alihak, Chairman of the Police Complaints Authority, Cecil Kennard, and members of the Civilian-Based Strategic Management Department of the Police Force. The Ghana Gold and Diamond Miners Association, GDDMA, says that despite the prevailing circumstances, it hopes to surpass the achievements made in 2013, the highest ever to be recorded in the history of mining in Guyana. Alexis Rodney reports.
The 458,000 ounce target set for last year was surpassed by 23,000, and according to the administrative coordinator of the Guyana Gold and Diamond Miners Association, Colin Sparman, the association hopes to surpass that amount this year. Sparman told this newscast that the gold record of 481,000 ounces was reached through the combined efforts of small and medium-scale miners. However, there have been a number of issues that have caused major setbacks in the industry. Sparman said that many miners have left the industry because of the reduction of gold prices. Over the last 2 years, the price per ounce of gold stood at US $1,900, which was to the miners' advantage. This price has since reduced to US $1,241, causing major difficulties as operating costs remain high. Sparman said that the association plans to meet with the newly appointed chairman of the Guyana Geology and Mines Commission, Clinton Williams, to have some of these issues discussed with him and the board. In the meantime, there is major progress over talks about the proposals put forward to President Donald Ramotar and the ministers Ashni Singh and Robert Prasad when they met last year. The association had made several requests, including tax waiver on the importation of 4x4 open-back vehicles for miners. Another meeting was held on Monday last, and an agreement was made that a ministerial task force will be set up to deal with the issues, which will then be forwarded to Cabinet. For the evening news, I'm Alexis Rodney.
In recognition of the need to tabulate, certify and announce accurate results of elections in a timelier manner, the Guyana Elections Commission GECOM is exploring the possibility of embarking on a pilot project in which automatic scanning and tabulation machines could be used in future for elections. More in this report.
The Guyana Elections Commission was on Monday visited by a team of representatives of the Lion Project from Canada who conducted a demonstration on the use of automatic ballot scan and tabulation technology. At the demonstration, it was pointed out that the Lion Project could donate up to 25 paper-based automatic ballot scan and tabulation machines to Guyana for a future election. The advantage of a paper-based automatic ballot scan and tabulation system solution is that results are counted as they are sent in at the close of polls, resulting in the ability to announce results immediately while still maintaining the comfort of a paper trail should a physical recount be required. The automatic ballot scan and tabulation systems are paper-based and allow for electronic automatic tabulation of results. They are a form of document ballot voting systems, meaning that there is a tangible record of the voter's intent even as a voter still marks a traditional paper ballot. During their 3-day visit to Guyana, the Lion Project representatives also met with the People's Progressive Party Civic, a partnership for national unity, and the Alliance for Change. They also visited Leguan and Wakenham Islands to get a feel of the type of terrain in which the machines could be put to use in any pilot project. In a release, GECOM stated Guyana's election laws do not currently provide for the use of electronic voting systems. Hence, the laws would have to be amended accordingly should there be an agreement between GECOM and the bona fide political parties pertaining to any introduction of the automatic ballot scan and tabulation systems in Guyana. Anara Khan reporting for the Evening News.
Local authorities believe that a counterfeit margarine, which has been circulating in Regions 5 and 6, is being smuggled into the country via Suriname. During a telephone interview with the director of the Government Analysts and Food Drugs Department, Marlon Cole, he disclosed that investigations are yet to be completed. He stated that there is no existing company within Guyana except Sterling which manufactures and processes such large quantity of the product. More news still ahead. Welcome back. You're watching the Evening News. Linden Economic Committee Chairperson Joycelyn Williams has stepped down, citing family commitments and other social responsibilities. Region 10 Chairman Sharma Solomon has announced. Here's more.
Joycelyn Williams reportedly served Solomon and the head of the Presidential Secretariat, Dr. Roger Luncheon, with her letter of resignation on January 15th. Williams has demitted the post with the intention of fulfilling her personal, family, and social responsibilities.
On behalf of the people of Region 10, I thank Ms. Williams for consulting and committing to serve when she was approached last year. In September 2013, Central Government agreed to her chairing the committee tasked with producing an economic plan for Region 10 within 60 days, a time frame that was given in the agreement. The region remains confident, given Ms. Williams' expertise, her term would have been presented efficiently.
In keeping with its commitment to the people of Linden and by extension Region 10, the RDC on Tuesday submitted an undisclosed number of names to Dr. Luncheon as possible options to replace Williams. However, the Region 10 chairman said that the government refuses to have the Economic Committee work until the region agrees to an imposed name for the Technical Committee to look into electricity. The work of this committee came to an abrupt end following the resignation of its chairman, Narvan Persad. The Technical Committee, when formalized, will be mandated to investigate the electrical situation in Linden. Solomon used this opportunity to express his disappointment in the progress made since the signing of the agreement in 2012.
Our fate is sealed by this agreement, and refusal to do the decent thing to honor this agreement. Our fate is sealed by our determination to ensure every citizen of Region 10 get what he or she, his or her, are outlined in the Constitution and sealed in the agreement.
According to him, it is essential for the region to be equipped with an economic development plan that will address critical and immediate socio-economic issues in the areas of education, employment, health, transportation, and poverty. GCCI President Clinton Erling recently called on the government to mount a formal investigation into the allegations peddled by the Region 10 chairman that the committees established under the agreement are not functioning and have achieved very little. Anara Khan reporting for the Evening News.
Members of the Howard University Medical Association who are on a 5-day visit to Ghana on Monday paid a courtesy call on President Donald Ramotar at the Office of the President. Team member Dr. Frederick Kober described the meeting as very productive. Dr. Kober told the Government Information Agency, GINA, that various ways in which the Association of Medical Professionals, many of whom have decades of experience, could be of service to Guyana. Guyana hosted the 2014 reunion of the association from January 16 to 21. The delegation of 44 Washington, D.C.-based medical practitioners that included Guyana's own David Aubrey Gore, a Howard University graduate from Essequibo, delivered continuing medical education CME lectures over 2 days, January 17 and 18, at the Guyana International Conference Center. 2014 will see the HIV Vision 2020 being implemented in full this year. This is according to the National AIDS Program Secretariat Program Director Dr. Shanti Singh. Natasha Aziz has the details.
The 8 years National Strategic Plan for HIV from 2013 to 2020 has been finalized in 2013 and will be implemented soon. This is according to the National AIDS Program Secretariat NAPS Program Director Dr. Shanti Singh during an interview with this newscast. Dr. Singh explained that there are 5 priority areas within which the program's response, which will be rolled out under HIV Vision 2020. These include coordination, prevention, care, treatment and support, strategic information, and integration. Health Economics Unit personnel from the University of the West Indies are expected in Guyana from January 28, 2014 to commence working on this with a local team. The 8-year plan, Dr. Singh added, is designed to place Guyana on a trajectory to eliminate HIV while reducing the social and economic impact of HIV and AIDS. It is also aimed at improving the lives of persons living with the infection. NAPS is also working assiduously to meet the March 31, 2014 deadline to submit the estimated number of persons living with HIV and AIDS as recent as 2013. For the Evening News, Natasha Aziz.
Join us after these messages for sport, sponsored by Macro. Welcome back, and now for a look at sport in your headlines. Rest Combination record upset win over National 11. Queen's College to host SBA Inter-House Volleyball Tournament, and NCN confirmed relationship again with the Berbice Cricket Board. The Rest combination put in a disciplined bowling performance on Tuesday evening to beat the National 11 by 32 runs in the first of two practice matches slated for the Ghana National Stadium on the lights. Led by fast bowler Keon Joseph 3 for 27 and leg spinner Amir Khan 3 for 37, the National 11 were bundled out for 218 in 47.2 overs despite Shivnarine Chandrapal's impressive half-century. The left-handed Chandrapal top scored for the National 11 with a 121 ball 77 inclusive of 5-4, and a 6. The National 11 failed to build on Chandrapal's effort, with only Robin Bacchus 26, Royston Crandon 25, and West Indies middle-order batsman Narsingh Dinarine, who recently returned from New Zealand, 21, being the other significant contributors. Earlier batting first, the Rest combination posted 250 for 6 in their 50 overs. Out-of-favour batsmen Sunarine Chattergoon and Rajendra Chandreka hit contrasting half-centuries. The fifth form students of Queen's College will host an inter-house volleyball tournament on Thursday in order to complete their physical education curriculum at the school's auditorium. Tristan Joseph reports.
As part of their school-based assessment, Queen's College for their upcoming knockout volleyball tournament is leaving no stones unturned by having new GPC Limacol as one of its sponsors. According to physical education teacher of the top school, Tyson English, the program should serve the students well.
You would find that we're not only trying to expose those CXC students just to sport in general, but we're looking at the aspect of them being able to organize or plan, organize and execute low-organized activities and to some extent well-organized games and activities also.
English also highlighted what it will take for each of the students to gain high grades for the SBA from the tournament.
They're expected to compile a portfolio. That portfolio comprises a reflection from each child. Whether the tournament was a positive one, negative, it doesn't matter. They're going to give their own reflections. They're expected to also provide pictures, videos to show us proof that this tournament actually took place, and they're expected to give an overview of the entire project from the inception, planning, the day of the execution, and they're going to give more or less a review after the tournament would have been completed.
English, who expects the students to become better rounded individuals from the tournament, thanked new GPC Limacol for its support of the tournament. The tournament is expected to start from 1000 hours.
The state-owned National Communications Network, NCN, on Tuesday confirmed their relationship with the Berbice Cricket Board for the 6th consecutive year with the sponsorship of the NCN Interzone Under-15 Cricket Tournament. Rajiv Bisnaut reports.
The presentation ceremony was held in the studio of NCN on Homestretch Avenue, Georgetown, where the company handed over a check worth $211,000 to offset the tournament. NCN's acting Chief Executive Officer Michael Gordon described the Berbice Cricket Board as a good example of the administration of the game in Guyana. He added that NCN was highly impressed with the level of cricket as well as the cricket administration in Berbice, which prompted the company to give its commitment to ensure the success of the tournament.
Jubilee. The National Communications Network, by virtue of observing the degree of management and administration executed by the Berbice Cricket Board, in fact, we here at NCN believe in the context of Guyana, in the local context. Berbice Cricket Board shines as an example, perhaps as the bastion of the administration of cricket in Guyana.
Meanwhile, Berbice Cricket Board Special Events Committee Chairman Hilbert Foster expressed his delight that NCN has once again come on board as the official sponsor of the tournament. He expressed gratitude to the management and staff of the entity for investing in Berbice cricket and expressed the hope that the relationship between the two organizations will be long and successful.
We know that NCN, you have your own financial problems with the budget cut and so on. The members of the board were a little worried that your sponsorship might have been, our sponsorship with you might have been on the cards. But thanks very much for renewing the sponsorship, because the young cricketers actually look forward to it, and you along with Scotiabank are always the first on board for us for the year, and we're very thankful that you're coming once again on board.
The tournament will involve the best under 15 players in Berbice playing for Upper and Lower Corentyne, New Amsterdam, Kanji and West Berbice. The Berbice under 15 team will be selected based on the performance in the tournament.
And finally in sport, New Zealand beat India by 15 runs in their rain-shortened second ODI thanks to one of the more bizarre Duckworth-Lewis method run chases in Hamilton. Despite scoring more runs in less overs, India went 2-0 behind in the 5-match ODI series and also lost their number one-day ranking to Australia in the process. The Black Caps reached 271 for 7 in 42 overs in Seddon Park, and although India managed 277 for 9 in 41.3 overs, they had been set a revised target of 293, so fell 15 runs short. Kane Williamson top scored with 77, Ross Taylor made 57, and Corey Anderson belted a late 44 off just 17 balls to lift the New Zealand total. Rain had stopped play with the host looking good on 170 for 2 with just under 17 overs to play before the match was shortened due to the break. Virat Kohli hit 78 and MS Dhoni 56 in replay, but when Tim Southee grabbed the crucial scalp of Kohli, India's chances started to slip away. Southee finished with 4 for 72 as New Zealand moved into a comfortable 2-0 lead in the series. Remember, you can read about these and other stories in tomorrow's edition of the Guyana Times newspaper, which can be purchased from vendors across the country. When you're not reading our newspaper, do remember to tune in to RGI on 89.3, 89.5 or 89.7 FM. Your press reports are next. Welcome back, and now for a look at your bridge reports. The Denver Harbor Bridge will be closed on Thursday, January 23 at 9 hours for a period of 1.5 hours. And the Berbice River Bridge will be closed on Thursday, January 23 at 8 hours 30 for a period of 1.5 hours. That's your Wednesday, January 22, 2014 edition of the Evening News. I'm Samuel Suknandan. Thanks for joining us.